So it's actually Churchenthaler. Yeah, it's like church, Churchenthaler, not that complicated. So hi everyone, my name is Caroline and I'm the managing director of a project called DSTOQ. And actually, you know what, you gave me the perfect start of my presentation talking about lack of infrastructure in Namibia, because actually that is something that's a problem we want to solve. We are creating financial market infrastructure with a main focus in Africa. So let me start by asking you a few questions. Who of you here is investing in security token? No one? Yeah, a few? Okay, at least two. Who of you has ever invested in a company in Africa? Okay, no one. Anyone who has ever invested in a company in Ethiopia? No, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, great. So basically by asking you the questions, I wanted to show that actually it's very difficult to invest. So let's have a look at the map I found yesterday, which shows global investment volumes. And if you look at Africa, what do you see? Nothing. And why is that? I mean, a lot of countries in Africa are emerging economies, growth rate 10% per year, and you think there's a lot of small and medium-sized companies with great opportunities to invest. But you cannot invest because it's lack of infrastructure, not only internet connection infrastructure, which we saw just now, but also in the capital markets. A lot of countries don't have a stock exchange, they don't have banking systems, you lack knowledge of in which company to invest, and if you want to invest, you have high fees. So, I know it's the end of a long day, I'm going to keep it short, but I want to explain to you what my project is doing. So, DSTOQ, we are building a decentralized global exchange platform for the peer-to-peer trading of tokenized securities. And we are also tokenizing securities, which means secondary market securities, and also doing IPOs on the blockchain. Our platform is fully regulated because we obtained a stock exchange license, and I believe we obtained the world's first stock exchange license with the right to invest with cryptocurrency into stocks, and also the right to build our own decentralized share registry. So, what are the problems that we're solving? We're solving two problems. First of all, outdated financial infrastructure. Because I don't know whoever has already bought shares, but if you want to, like, as a private individual, you cannot directly interact with the stock exchange. You always have to go through intermediaries. And also, if you own Apple shares, and I wanna sell my Apple shares to Emin, well, it's not possible. I have to go through the depository bank where the shares lay. So it's those infrastructures which are outdated, and there's lack of access, because investors, if you look at us, we're European investors, but we don't have access to invest in companies in emerging markets in Africa. But also if you look at it from the side of an African investor, they don't have access to global means of fundraising. And more so, think about an investor in a market like Ethiopia, which is really growing. There's more and more people who make money, and they're looking for a safe store of value. because the local currency, they loses up to 10% per year. So if you want to create long-term wealth, you need a safe store of value for your money. And it could be perfect if they could invest in German state bonds, for example. But if a South African investor wants to invest into a German state bond, the fees are between 5 to 8%. And a state bond that gives you a return of 5%, you think about it, it just doesn't make sense. So what DSTOQ is building is two things. So with blockchain as a technology, we are building our exchange platform, and thereby we create the infrastructure for a new global capital market system, which and blockchain, as we all know, I don't need to explain to you, allows the peer-to-peer trading of value. And with our platform, we actually give access, we we give access to real-world assets that we tokenize. So we're talking about any kind of secondary market securities, ETFs, bonds, and also commodities, gold, carbon emission rights, you name it, but also IPOs on blockchain through, I know it's late, I'm not going to go into details, but we have set up a complex IPO process through a listing process where the companies who want to list on our platform have to collaborate with nominated advisors who do a due diligence process, and thereby we make sure that we only list high quality companies on our platform. So if I want to sum up our vision, what we're doing is we want to rewrite the global investment rulebook by giving everyone equal access to investment and capital raising opportunities, and thus empowering economic inclusion. And the aspect of economic inclusion is where I would like to put the focus on, because our vision is to include third world emerging countries to the global financial markets. And if you think about it, not every IPO means social impact. But if you think about the entrepreneur in Africa who needs to raise money and can raise money through an IPO on our blockchain, he's going to be able to scale his company, employ people, bolster their local infrastructure, and that's where you actually create real social impact. So what you do as an investor, instead of giving your money to a charity, you actually give it to an entrepreneur, which can create long-term growth of a country. So I know it sounds like a big vision, so I'm gonna come to the end already. Let me show you where we're standing. So in January this year, we've obtained our stock exchange license, and you can imagine a long stripe to the left, because actually it took quite a long time to get that license. And shortly after, we've received funding, also from Aeternity. So thank you, Aeternity. And thanks to that funding, we've been able to scale our team to a team of 25 people. We have the ex-chief of security from Visa in our team, the person who invented the domain name system. We have a former MD of the stock exchange Stuttgart, people from Rocket Internet, Eternity Advisors, you name it. Thanks to that funding, we have been able to set up the regulatory framework, and we have now our MVP fully running on the testnet. So come and grab me later. I have a few. Why are you laughing? Come and grab me later. I have priority passes where so you can access our MVP. And where we're standing right now. So today we also issue our own token, which is a payment token on our platform. And our co-founders are currently in Asia on a roadshow. We just started our private pre-sale. Yay. And what's next? We are now setting up the fully fledged MVP platform, and our token distribution will be the end of the year, and mid next year we're gonna launch our first African company. Yeah, so to come to an end of my presentation, I just want to say a few words on our collaboration with Aeternity. So actually the way I met Emin was very funny, because when I just met Steffi, she asked me, hey, where do you have your mobile chain phone from? That's really cool, I want to have it. And you know what? That's how I met Emin, because we met at the Big Chain DB conference last year, and I was like, hey, I really like that phone chain, where is it from? So yeah, that's very funny. So I don't want to go into details about Aeternity, because I think the boys of Aeternity have already explained it a lot. But what I want to say is, I think DSTOQ and Aeternity, we share the same values. We believe in real-world application. And being in the financial market, most important thing for us is security. And that is what Aeternity is promising, that every line of code can be verified, which is extremely important for us. And we see the biggest potential of collaboration with the oracles, because what we need, if you think about us listing companies globally, we actually are looking for ways to verify the data of the companies they claim to have. And the oracles are like a perfect solution for that. And obviously also the state channels, I don't want to go into details, but they would allow for high frequency trading and great opportunity for scaling for us. So yeah, that's it. I'm very happy to be here today, and yeah.